he knew that he was going to be on top. He has his struggle of an upbringing, and then he comes out and he's this ferocious beast, and he wants to just dominate the industry.
Don't push us, 'cause we're close to the edge. We're trying not to lose our heads.
He had his first #1 hit on the Billboard hip-hop charts in 1997 with Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, and would go on to earn the top spot 10 more times.
Don't take it low. You can even do it slow. You can even do it slow. Either way you wanna go. Either way you wanna go. Drop some, move some, shake your tail feather.
I take pride in being one of the, most successful producers in hip-hop history. I have the most #1s as a hip-hop artist.
Add to that 3 Grammys, and in 2023, the MTV Video Music Awards Global Icon Award.
And nobody deserves to be called an icon more than this man. Diddy, Puff Daddy, love!
All I am is a man with ambition to be the best. When I failed, it just gave me the vision.
But conquering the music world wasn't enough for Diddy. He became a one-man marketing machine.
This new collection is great. You're watching Revolt. 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 Revolt.
It's a revolution.
Ciroc is for the culture.
I feel like he always knew in the back of his mind, like, his end goal was to be a mogul.
All this has made Diddy very, very rich. His estimated net worth, close to $1 billion.
Big smile, Diddy! Oh my God!
Diddy has lived a life of extravagance. Multiple homes, planes,
Black excellence.
yachts, cars, and of course, those legendary parties.
Hang out and watch him throw parties.
Sure, he famously threw his white party out.
Bro, he would throw a party. One point, I went to Philly, followed him all the way to Philly. He threw a party, and he said, "Yo, Playboy, this party costs $1.5 million."
They're actually fun parties. A lot of famous people, star-studded. You'd be sometimes amazed by some of the people that you see there.
Some of the people who attended the parties have said that there was a lot of sex during these parties, and that kind of opens the door to some of the allegations that we've been reading about. What about that?
So there was a lot of sex, but it didn't happen at the party. It was after parties, not necessarily at the party.
Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
There have always been whispers and rumblings about Diddy. The whisperings and rumblings, though, weren't about criminal activity. They were simply about his party lifestyle. They were about his social activities and maybe even his sexual activities. There's always been whispers and rumors and innuendo, but like many things in Hollywood, it was on a need-to-know basis. Those who knew, knew, and many fans and everyday people, especially before social media, were completely in the dark about what was going on.
What up, boss? How's it going, sir? Nice to see you. Easy.
Over time, however, we've come to see more, hear more, and know more.
Aubrey O'Day sounded the alarm for years that Diddy was a dangerous man. She was dismissed as disgruntled and bitter. A lot of people now think Aubrey was telling the truth all along. After Cassie filed her lawsuit, you said, "Been trying to tell y'all for years." What were you trying to tell people?
That Diddy was not a safe human and that you should be careful if you're planning on entering any type of relationship with him, from business to personal.
And this was based on your personal experience?
Yes.
Did he ever mistreat you?
Yes. Have you ever seen Making the Band?
Yeah.
Did he ever mistreat you is the funniest question I think I've ever heard. Of course.
Aubrey worked under Diddy for close to 5 years as a member of the girl group Danity Kane.
Can y'all look over this way, please? Hold on.
And she was famously fired from the group by Diddy on Making the Band.
You want to show all your skin. You want to be naked.
We are not happy. You hate me, then why you have me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one thing we can make clear.
But
I don't have to have you here. I'm trying.
Why do you have me here? Because every time it's just I'm such a problem.
Check this out. You clear on that. You understand now. I'm asking myself why do I have you here? I'm telling you right this. I don't like her energy. I don't like her style and direction where she's going with it. I don't like what she does to the brand when she's wilding out there, being overly raunchy, promiscuous. So there's nothing else to talk about. Would you like to go with her? Because she's not going to be in Danity Kane.
The mistreatment is enough to have changed the course and direction of my entire life. The mistreatment was enough for me to have to spend a good amount of time in the hands of professionals to learn what grooming is and unlearn the grooming. The treatment was so bad in some regards that I'm not ready to speak about it yet, but I will.
Are you talking verbal, physical, or both?
That's not a question that I'm prepared to dive into right now. But I can say this, as that seems to be a question that a lot of people love to ask. Does it matter? I've been in physically abusive situations. The verbal ones hurt me way more. The abuse was significant enough to change the course of my life.
I don't work these amount of years to have you talk to me this way.
I'm not meaning
so I don't want you in the group no more. Okay. All right, because I don't want to even have to have this conversation.
On Making the Band alone, we experienced intimidation tactics, we experienced body shaming, beat downs, and then when we thought we were absolutely nothing, and I'm talking from sleep deprivation to bunkers, it was very like training us to be good soldiers.
Do you feel that he was looking for young people who never had a frame of reference, like you, where it would be easier to do whatever you say he did?
I can't tell you his intentions because I don't live inside that man's brain. I never plan to, and I pray I never go anywhere close to what that is. Everything is just always about Diddy, and whatever Diddy's narrative is over there, you're being told it from every angle. And you meet a person that is an excellent groomer, what happens is they start to let you know what's wrong with you. That starts to make you question the things that you believe about yourself.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
I'm done with all of that.
No.
Like,
what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like? You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
His narrative of me, promiscuous, problematic, all that rah-rah, you know, the bad, all the negatives. That's why the only offer I had after being fired on national television in front of the world as a child came from Hugh Hefner. And it was to do the cover of Playboy. I had to work very hard to get anyone to give me an opportunity.
I notice you have a Danity Kane necklace on. I'm just wondering how you process Danity Kane, which in so many ways gave opportunities, but is so connected to Diddy. Does that make you sad? Can you distinguish between Diddy and your success there, or is it all just so intertwined?
Complex question. Quickest answer, if you do enough work on yourself, you can get to a place where you will be able to distinguish yourself from abusers and toxic situations. Anyone out there that has gone through that or is in that right now, please hear me. Resonate with me in this moment. You can distinguish every piece of it. You can separate them and you can pick what parts you are going to carry with you into your future. So I wear this necklace for my ladies out there. I think it's because we were surrounded by a team of men. And I don't know that any of those men ever had our best interests at hand.
Last September, Diddy did something to counter some of the rumors he was a monster.
I read that you are going to actually give back the publishing rights to a bunch of artists on your label, which is incredible because it's happening at a moment that actually those rights are going for a very high dollar, and many people would keep that money for themselves.
Yes, us as a people have to look within and do the right thing. So it was just the right thing to do, and it's reform for the industry and reform for just us as people.
Well, you're an incredible human.
When TMZ ran the headline, and I have a screenshot of it because I do want to call you out. I received the publishing deal. I know what it says. I know how much money it was giving me. I'll tell you, $330. $300.30 for a full release of all claims against Diddy and many other players. Never can disparage Diddy on any social media site, on any podcast, on any format. Never have any rights to any claims again over any type of wrongdoings with your music or with any of these parties listed. Once you sign it, in fact, it said, you can never mention the existence of this contract ever again.
What do you think was behind him making a move to return rights for so little at this point in time? What do you think his motivation was there?
I think you would probably be making moves to keep as many people quiet as possible. When I went to look at the publishing deal, it said anything but I'm being made whole financially again. In fact, it asked me to not be able to have access to my story and my experience anymore. It asked me specifically to stay silent and never speak poorly about a human. So then I realized something really bad is coming because this isn't a man that was reformed.
I'm just not who I am before. I'm something different. So my new name is Love.
Do you know what the word love means to everybody? We live and die to find a human on this earth that will genuinely love us. The man took the most beautiful, precious, unreachable words, livable, lifetime words, and put it in his fucking name. Had his publicist send you a lie or a reformation of the truth, and everybody maybe signed it and can't talk. I don't know why no one else is coming forward and talking about this, frankly.
How do you describe yourself? I'm vivacious, eccentric, and I'm a Scorpio.
What's one misconception about you?
There are no misconceptions about me.
There's no doubt the conversations around Diddy have changed significantly since Cassie's lawsuit came out. And things that may have seemed innocent in the past are now being looked at in an entirely different way.
You know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
A video of Diddy with a then 15-year-old Justin Bieber surfaced. It was taken while Bieber was visiting Diddy's home, and given all the new allegations, it seemed, well, a little weird.
He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Speculation as to what he saw at Diddy's home ran rampant on social media.
Did P. Diddy groom a very young Justin Bieber?
And people say it almost looks like Justin Bieber didn't want to be there. It looks like it was completely scripted, and P. Diddy looked completely suspicious.
I think it's clear that Justin Bieber definitely looks uncomfortable. Watching it gives me personally a very weird pit in my stomach, especially watching it through the lens of all of the accusations against Diddy right now.
A few days later, a second bizarre video emerged of Diddy and Justin that just added fuel to the fire.
Selling out arenas and everything, starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Then, another video resurfaced and raised eyebrows. Usher talking to Howard Stern about what he saw when he moved in with Diddy when he was just 13. His manager sent him there to learn what life as a star was all about.
I went there to see the lifestyle, right? And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans. Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
But Usher later expressed concern about what he was exposed to when he was living with Diddy.
I mean, I'm 13 years old. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? There were a lot of things I seen and a lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions in my life about who I would be.
Usher and Bieber have not commented on the latest allegations, but other artists have taken Diddy to task. 50 Cent, who's tangled with him for years, tweeted, "It's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done."
He's corny. He's Uncle Tom. That's who Curtis is. He want to see the black man go down before anybody else. You know what I'm saying? He's just sore. He's just sore because his baby mother is with Puff. Don't be sore. Don't be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Get greater. So with him, he's just a troll.
Mary J. Blige, a friend of Diddy's for 30 years, posted, "Unfortunately, a lot of you all met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. Let me reintroduce myself. I burn bridges as needed," apparently referring to her own experience with Diddy.
Diddy has befriended some of the biggest names in entertainment for decades, yet none of those stars have come out to defend him, not one. That may say less about Diddy and more about Hollywood.
Hollywood is eerily and noticeably quiet about all of the Diddy controversy right now. And I think it's a very simple reason for it. And that is people in glass houses don't want to throw stones.
Even Ashton Kutcher, who met Diddy when they both had shows on MTV and was one of his closest friends, hasn't uttered a peep.
The radio silence around this case, in my opinion, is highly unusual. Even if you look at, say, R. Kelly, who's someone who is very much maligned and should be given what he's been convicted of, he did have supporters early on. Diddy has none. It's crickets.
A lot of these cats, they don't have, first of all, they don't have the heart. Second of all, it's like, I can't be seen standing next to him while that's going on. I don't want people to look at me funny. So you got those that just won't come near it because they don't want to be affected. And that's just the way it is.
There are a lot of people who are probably implicated in his events, in his activities, even if they're not criminally guilty, they just might have been at a party. They may just have been hanging out. And if he gets attached to something that is considered awful or outside the boundaries of what you're allowed to do, then no one wants to be connected to him at all.
Is there another reason why other people ain't speaking out in his defense?
I think a lot of people are just trying to understand it. Understand what is and what's not, you know?
Another reason people aren't coming to Diddy's defense, Diddy was allegedly obsessed with recording everything that went on in his homes. Everything.
If they have 250 cameras they took out his house, they have a whole bunch of images or footage of things that were going on around his house. A lot of people might be running from that tape.
I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there.
Diddy is a powerful person. You don't get to be a billionaire without being powerful and without being connected to powerful people. So Diddy knows politicians, entertainers, philanthropists, academics, you name it, he's connected to them. And so if we start unraveling the thread of Diddy's networks, you're gonna find a lot of people, and like Jeffrey Epstein, some of them might be implicated.
Do you find it a little hypocritical that there are a lot of people who are so silent now, who are so quick to canceling others when they're not involved or even remotely associated?
There is an interesting contradiction that we are witnessing in real time right now. There are people who are very quick to cancel people who are very quick to say, lock them up, throw away the key. At the same time, those very same voices are saying nothing about Diddy. Now, it's not because their morals have changed. It's not because their philosophy has shifted. It's a much more simple answer than that. They're scared because they're tied up with him some way, somehow.
I think there's a possibility that people may fear that somehow he makes it out of this. And if he does, he's probably taken a long list of anybody that's speaking on things. And maybe also because everybody's done things that they wouldn't want people to know. And they fear that involving themselves in a conversation like that puts them at risk. Cassie scared a whole lot of fucking men. There's people wrapping up their business nice and tight now because there are many more.
And some people just aren't talking because they're afraid of retaliation from Diddy's adversaries. TMZ was scheduled to do an interview with one of Diddy's former employees for this documentary, one who was actually going to defend him. But they backed out, stating in a text, "I'm worried Diddy has many enemies. I'm afraid that if I give my thoughts on what I experienced, I may be ruled a target. I have a comfortable and cozy life, not sure if I want to disrupt it."
But Diddy does have some defenders who aren't afraid to speak out. And one of them is someone you would never, ever expect.
Responsibility for the so-called feud between East Coast and West Coast rappers, a feud that allegedly led to the murders of Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G. Rap artists and producers call for an end to the rivalry and the violence. But how long will the peace last? Only time will tell.
Diddy and rap executive Suge Knight have been archenemies for years. East Coast versus West Coast, Diddy's Bad Boy label based in New York and Suge's Death Row Records based in LA. A rivalry that was incredibly bitter.
Any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the records, dancing. Come to Death Row.
I know that I'm not, what? Yeah. Are they crazy? I was like, wow, and I was like, I could blow this thing up right now,
And sometimes it got downright violent.
A rivalry so bitter that it's led to the death of two of rap's most successful artists.
So you'd think Suge Knight would be reveling in all the allegations against Diddy, right? Wrong. I talked to him on the phone from a California prison where he's serving 28 years for a fatal hit and run. And what he told me blew me away.
My first reaction, it's not the reaction I thought I would have when it came to Puffy. You know what I mean? I thought it'd be a reaction like he got what he got coming because everybody know what's been going on. My reaction was actually different because I felt like, damn, the first thing came to my mind was, he had his sons, he had his daughters. My reaction was first about the kids. And the thing is, I feel it's a bad day for hip-hop. It's a bad day for the culture because it makes us all look bad.
I gotta say, I am shocked at what you just said. I thought you were going to almost kind of dance over his troubles now just because of your history and the grace you're showing toward him and his family. I don't know, it's kind of remarkable to me given the history of you two guys. What changed with you?
I'm not the type of guy to cheer for people's downfall. And if somebody get killed or something happens to them, I'm not gonna pop champagne bottles. And if I have a problem with Puffy, that's for him and I to sit down in a room and resolve it. So for the tragedy on both sides, the victim to him, that's definitely not nothing to cheer about.
There are so many allegations now of, sex trafficking and drugs and all sorts of things. Did this just come from out of the blue, or was there kind of a buzz that some of this might have been going on with Diddy for a while, if any of it's true?
I don't think Cassie a liar, because we know what type of stuff goes on. And I just say it like this. I don't think Puffy needs to be destroyed or hung or put to death, or I think that Puffy, or if it's me or anybody else, we should be able to tell our truth. By telling our truth, we can't change the past, but we can help the present and we can help the future. So if Puffy tells his story uncut, he can help everyone. Let him tell the truth.
Do you think that the silence of people in the music business and in entertainment generally over what's going on with Diddy right now, with all of the allegations and lawsuits, do you think that silence is really kind of rooted more in fear, that they're afraid, oh my God, I have associations too? Because that's sort of what you just alluded to.
I think they sound just guilt. Guilty, guilty, guilty. If they walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's going to be a duck. I don't think one person around who was hanging with Puffy, who's not acting like Puffy. So as a feather flock together. What you think? They're all going to stick together to keep everything swept under that rug. Because they lift that rug up, you're going to find a whole bunch of shit that you don't go see.
One person who could literally hold the key to Diddy's future and freedom is a young man named Brendan Paul.
Brendan was the only person arrested and charged on the day of those raids back in March. Authorities say they found cocaine and marijuana candy in his luggage at the airport where Diddy was questioned.
According to Rodney Jones' lawsuit, Brendan is Diddy's drug mule, who allegedly acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' drugs and guns. Jones also claims Brendan was responsible for paying prostitutes for the freak-off parties.
I'm particularly interested in Brendan Paul because he's 25 years old and he's allegedly the one who's obtaining drugs for P. Diddy. It's interesting, such a young guy. I don't know if that indicates that P. Diddy's organization is as large or as complicated as perhaps the feds would need to make it out to be.
Sean, one more time.
Only 2 years out of college, Brendan became part of Diddy's inner circle. On social media, he's seen celebrating at Diddy's latest album release party.
Brendan's one of Diddy's assistants. We used to play ball together, kick it. Producer, has an artist. He's a pretty cool dude. He and Diddy, he was Diddy's assistant. I mean, he was with him all the time, so they had a cool little, relationship, a cool little brotherhood.
Brendan was released the day after his arrest on a $2,500 bond. His attorney has refused to comment on the case, but given his proximity to Diddy, authorities are no doubt interested in what he saw behind closed doors.
The feds are going to be looking for anybody close to P. Diddy or whoever their targets are in this investigation to essentially turn on the people that they're most focused on. So they're going to be looking to cut deals. They're going to be looking to grant immunity deals. They will be looking for those people around the center of the orbit to turn on their targets.
The feds have their work cut out for them, especially if they want to get Diddy on the more serious charge of sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking, when looking at adults involved in a crime of that nature, the feds are required to actually prove that there's force or coercion that's involved in addition to the commercial situation that's going on. So in addition to just payment, they're going to need testimony and evidence that these individuals were actually forced or coerced to engage in these sexual acts or the ongoing sexual business that they're alleging occurred here.
I have heard the stories regarding Diddy having prostitutes that willingly want to go with him across state lines. But there's a couple things that need to be looked at in regards to that. Was there a power dynamic? Were they fearful? Was something making it so that they felt that they needed to, or else there would be consequences for not? It just takes one of them to be doing this against their will for that to be human trafficking.
One thing that could help the feds, Cassie Ventura can still be compelled to testify against Diddy in federal court, even if she agreed not to talk as part of the settlement.
Witnesses can be forced to cooperate, they can be subpoenaed and brought in, and that's something that the feds have the power to do. That goes beyond just the idea that perhaps he's settled lawsuits, for example, with Cassie. She can still be subpoenaed, she can still be brought in and essentially made to tell the truth, and if she doesn't, face her own consequences.
In fact, as those raids at Diddy's home were going down, Cassie's lawyer posted on X, "We will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those that have violated the law. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct."
I think he's going to have a very difficult time getting out of this one, because you've got the magnitude of the federal government now that is coming in. And so, in my opinion, it's going to be near impossible for him to get out of.
Everybody put your glasses up in the air. Let's take a toast to Sean Combs.
If you would have asked me 20 years ago what Diddy's legacy was, I would have said he was one of the stewards of one of the most important and beautiful moments in hip hop. If you would have asked me 10 years ago what Diddy's legacy was going to be, I would say he was the template for the billionaire rap star. Now, in the aftermath of all these allegations, all these rumors, all these innuendos, I don't know what Diddy's legacy is going to be. It's really still an open question.
Everyone who interacts with him has their own version of how they would describe him. To some people, he's a saint. To some people, he is their hero. To some people, he is a monster. I think it's just all about how people interact with him and what they've experienced and witnessed being around him.
What would I want people to know about Diddy? That, you know, he's like any other man. Loves his mother, loves his children, takes care of a ton of people, gives jobs to a ton of people. Even when the scenario was going on, with all this is going on, people still call him, asking him for stuff, and he's still there for people. It's like, you know, he's a good dude. Are we all perfect? Nah, none of us.
Spread love. I love y'all. Love, 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 love. Savage. I'm a savage. Without y'all, I wouldn't be on this stage.
I done seen this dude shake back from some stuff, right? So I'm not gonna count him out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna make a prediction, but I'm gonna say, you know, I ain't gonna count him out.
Anyone on this earth has the ability to be both good and bad, have done good things and bad things. So it's hard to just say, this is a bad guy or this is a good guy. I don't even want to be forced into that place. For all my friends that love to throw the word karma around, my response was always, yeah, good luck. Karma's a poor man's excuse. I know a lot of bad people and they're not seeing karma. They're getting better and better. They're getting more and more. I witnessed it for years. I never thought I would see this.